Hello, welcome back to my channel. So, okay guys, y'all know I'm gonna talk about this pickle outfit. We're gonna get into that here in a second and talk about what happened with this prison lieutenant, Courtney, and her inmate boyfriend, Josh, who got her fired and arrested for the relationship. But we're gonna get more into that here in a second. But y'all, okay, so I told you as soon as I started finding out these people's last names, I was going to start doing digging and giving you guys all the tea. And guys, I found some tea. Okay, so usually I would talk about the show and kind of give you guys the background first, but you guys watch the show and we're going to do that after this part. But I don't want to lose you guys, and I want to talk about one of the most important parts of this video. So Josh was arrested in December. So he was released from prison last April, and that's what we're seeing on this season of Love After Lockup. It was last April, and he was released on 3 years of parole. Well, in this December, 6 months ago, he beat Courtney up and he was arrested because of it and got DV charges. He posted a $2,000 bond and he pleaded guilty to the misdemeanor charge on December 22nd of 2020. He had to pay $250 in fines and he was sentenced to 30 days in jail, and he was credited with 1 day served, and the other 29 days were suspended. The court documents said that there's no probation, but he's under supervision by the parole authority because he's still on parole for the next 3 years. And after that, he was not allowed to have any contact with Courtney because the judge issued a no contact order preventing Josh from seeing or talking to Courtney. I can't find any evidence that the order of protection is still in place, so I have no idea if they're still not allowed to see each other or not. And I haven't found any evidence that his DV charges affected his parole or extended his parole, so it looks like he's still under 3 years of parole and has about 2 years left on that. But he's still in the middle of litigation for all that. So now let's get to the recap of last night's episode. So Courtney met Josh when she was a corrections lieutenant. She would wear wigs, as we see in this picture, and she would change her appearance so she could go visit Josh on her days off. And she actually got by doing that for over 8 weeks, and eventually people got wind of the relationship between Courtney and Josh, and she ended up getting arrested and fired over it. So she was fired, arrested, and put on probation, which she is still on to this day. And she said she knew it was like a rule, but she had no idea that it was a law. She was sentenced to 60 days in jail over this and received 2 years of supervised probation. So they live in Ohio, and Courtney, she was preparing for Josh to get out in a couple days. So Josh, he was in prison for 11 years for burglary and attempting to hurt someone. So Courtney and Josh, they are married, and this is Courtney's 3rd marriage, and she's only 30 years old. That is a year older than me, and she's on her 3rd marriage. Like, girl, hopefully the 3rd time's a charm, but I don't know. Courtney says more than anything, she just wants to be a wife. So Josh was locked up when he was 18 years old, and Courtney was the corrections lieutenant at Josh's prison, and she had to do a shakedown in his cell, and she said she found notes where he was saying he just didn't feel accepted or like he fit in, and Courtney said that she just really resonated with that, and she was just like, wow. And so Courtney and Josh started dating, and 6 months into dating they got married, and Josh proposed to Courtney by getting a "Will you marry me" tattoo on his arm, and it was super big, and right next to it was a huge portrait of Courtney's face, and it took up his whole arm, and there was like a lot of black shadowing, so that's gonna be super hard to cover up. So hopefully it works out for them, but I don't know. I don't have a feeling that it's going to. So, I mean, that's creative though. I gotta give him credit. And I'm surprised she was still able to marry Josh after she got fired from the prison he was in. But she was able to somehow. And her and Josh weren't present for their wedding. They got married by double proxy in Ohio. So 2 people stood in their place, and then they were married. So Courtney went and saw a lawyer because Josh isn't allowed to be paroled to Courtney's home when he's released. and ever since Courtney was fired, she hasn't been able to go visit Josh in person at prison. So the main reason why Josh can't come home to Courtney's is because she's on probation, and a felon can't live with anyone else on probation or parole. But Josh gets to go to Courtney's house for the first 14 days out of prison so he can quarantine, but after that he can't stay there for up to 3 years while he's on parole. And the lawyer told Courtney that there's a chance that his parole officer can tell Josh that he isn't allowed to see his wife. So Courtney is on her way to go get Josh in prison, and she has her friend with her because she isn't allowed on prison grounds, so she has to have her friend drive him to her. So Courtney's on her way, and she's gonna put a pickle costume to meet Josh in, and he has no idea she's gonna be wearing the pickle costume. I'm gonna get more into that pickle costume here in a sec. So she's putting the pickle costume on because there's a sassy pickle meme that says I'm kind of a big deal, as we see pictured here, and her and Josh always crack up and joke around and say that to each other. So she's just gonna surprise Josh in the pickle costume. I wonder what he's gonna think of that. And another thing was, Courtney said her hot water heater had went out, and she hasn't even got that replaced because she chose to send Josh money over getting her hot water fixed. Oh my gosh, she's just making hella sacrifices for this man. Okay, so this pickle costume. Like, okay, I understand she didn't wear no makeup because she didn't want to cry her makeup off, but you're in front of cameras, you're filming, and you haven't seen this man in a long time, so I would want to get glam for that, you know? But I guess the pickle costume, I think she thinks he's gonna enjoy that. I hope he enjoys it. But the thing is, she was laying on the dirty ground, just sitting there, looking like she was hiding from the police, sitting under this, I don't know what it's called, this little cement thing and divider, and she's just hiding from it, or hiding behind it, like she's hiding from the cops, waiting for Josh on that dirty ground. I'm like, what is this girl doing? Somebody get this girl off the ground. Where do they do that at? I just don't get it. I don't get it. Let me know what you guys thought about the pickle costume. Do you guys think it was cute? I can understand, though, like, she's kind of smart about it. Because, you know, people are going to make memes about it. I know I made a meme about it. So I think she kind of is just doing it to almost get attention, you know, and get talked about, maybe get more airtime on the TV show, because, you know, I'm sure the film crew loved the idea that she dressed up like a pickle because it was entertaining. So let me know what you thought about that. What do you guys think about Josh beating up Courtney and getting arrested in December? And do you guys think Courtney and Josh are gonna make it in the long run and still be together by the end of the season? I'm gonna make my guesses now, and I don't think they're gonna work out in the long run. I give it maybe about 6 months and he's gonna be gone. You know, we saw a spoiler for the season where he was saying, if I get pissed off, I might just go back. And well, we know that happened because he got pissed off and beat up Courtney in December and went back to jail, but he only ended up having to spend a day there. So let me know your guys' thoughts in the comments below, and are you looking forward to this season? I'm really looking forward to this season. It looks like it's going to be juicy. I think the biggest train wrecks are going to be Stan and Lisa, Courtney and Josh, who we talked about in this video, and Deontay and Nicole. I just think it's a disaster waiting to happen. That's just my guess. But I mean, we'll just have to wait and see what happened. Also, guys, if you haven't already seen my latest video I posted before this one about Shane from Love After Lockup, that was in the love triangle with Lacey and John, and Lacey had baby Summer with Shane. Well, Shane has been arrested twice in the last 3 months for some serious charges, and I promise you, you will not look at Shane the same after watching this video. So make sure you watch that video if you haven't already. Hit the thumbs up if you enjoyed this video. Subscribe if you haven't already. And make sure you turn on the bell notifications so you don't miss it as soon as I drop another video. I'm going to be dropping Love After Lockup videos all weekend and spilling more tea as I find out more about all these cast members. Thank you so much for watching.